So today we're going to be making a pesto chicken grill. So for this, we need some Italian dressing, our boneless, skinless chicken breast, and that is all for right now. So first, we're going to have to marinate the chicken breast in the Italian dressing. So what we're going to do is put the chicken breast into a baggie and let it sit in the fridge. So it says for about 8 hours, so if you do this in the morning, then it'll be ready to make dinner at night. So then we're just going to put each breast into this baggie right here. We're going to measure out 1 cup of the Italian dressing. So we have our cup out, and we're going to set this right into the trash can. So we have our Italian dressing, and we're going to open that up, and then we're going to measure out 1 cup of this dressing. And then the rest of the dressing can go in the fridge. So we have our 1 cup of the dressing, and we're just going to pour that in with the chicken breast. And then this can go right to be washed. So we're just going to let that sit, make sure everything is coated. When I put this back in the fridge, I like to put it in another bag, a grocery bag, just in case anything would leak, and since it's raw meat. And I'm going to put it into the bottom drawer here, the fresh drawer, that's where you keep the meat, and let that sit. So now that the chicken is done marinating, we're going to bake it in the oven. So we're going to come over here and set the oven to 400. So to bake the chicken, we're going to need the marinated chicken, a dish, and some non-stick spray. So first what we're going to do is just spray the bottom of this dish with a non-stick spray so the chicken won't stick to it at all. And then pretty much all that's left is taking out our marinated chicken here. And we're just going to pour it all into the casserole dish here. So then take care, because this marinade has been soaking in raw chicken, to put it back in the bag and then just take it immediately out to the trash. So what I like to do, so I'm not handling too much of the raw meat, is to just separate it and make sure everything is right side up using a knife or a fork, something like that. Everything's spread out. So I pour it in with the marinade just to make sure that there's still some moisture in the dish when you're baking the chicken. Now that our oven is preheated, we can go ahead and slide in our chicken. And we will set a timer for 25 minutes and check on it after that. So something I always like to do after cooking with raw meat is just get a wipe and wipe off the counter space where I had the raw meat. So now that the chicken is in the oven, we can start with our roasted veggies. So we'll have pesto chicken and roasted veggies. So today I thought we'd do bell peppers, onions, and some asparagus. So first, we want to make sure everything is washed. So here's our asparagus, and we are just going to take off these rubber bands here and set those aside, and then just wash the asparagus. So to continue cooking our vegetables, we are going to take this washed asparagus and just cut off the bottom a little bit. So since there's so much asparagus, we can just do this a few at a time and just slice on this cutting board here. And then we're going to throw that into our bowl here. And a steak knife is totally fine for this. That's what I'm using. But if you have kitchen knives, those would be great too. So that is the asparagus, and we're just going to throw that into our bowl. So now that we have the asparagus in our bowl, we can add the rest of our veggies here. So we have a mix of bell peppers and red onions already pre-cut. That's my favorite way to buy them. It just makes it so much easier. You don't have to worry about slicing anything. You don't need any fancy kitchen knives. So, we're just going to go ahead and add in the peppers and the onion to our bowl here. So after that, we can add our seasonings. So for this, to add the seasonings, we are going to do some minced garlic. So you can either mince the garlic yourself, or you can get it pre-minced in a little jar. Again, it just makes it easier. So we are just going to add a teaspoon of minced garlic there. If you like a lot of garlic, you can, feel free to add more, but that's all we're going to do. And then we'll set that aside, and then I'm just going to do just a little sprinkle of some Italian seasoning, and then I'm going to do a 1/4 cup of some Parmesan cheese. So there's our 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese there, and we're just going to go ahead and dump that in. We're just going to mix this all up. Just stir that all up, and then once that is stirred, we are going to put it on a baking sheet to put it in the oven. So now that we have our veggie mixture all seasoned and that's all mixed up, we're just going to go ahead and spread it all out on the baking sheet here. So our asparagus, our peppers, and some onions. Just get that all spread on the baking sheet to be put in the oven. So now that the chicken has been in for the full 25 minutes, we are going to go ahead and take it out of the oven and check it. When I check my chicken, I like to cut into the thickest breast to make sure that it is completely done. I'm going to hold that there because that's still hot. And just take a knife and cut through the thickest breast. We can see that there is no pink inside this chicken breast here. It's all white, which means that it is done. So now for the vegetables, I'm going to preheat the oven to 425. So now that our sheet is almost ready to get put in the oven, I just like to do a little bit of a drizzle of olive oil across the veggies here. And Now that our chicken is out and we checked that it was done, we preheated our oven for the vegetables. We can go ahead and take these over to our oven here. Go ahead, open that up, slide them in, and then we'll set a timer for 10 minutes and check them after that. Our timer has gone off. Let's check the veggies. See if they look toasty. And they do. So we will set those out there to cool. The veggies and the chicken breast.